everyone, we are back with another Flower Nose perfume review. I just recently got the two newest perfumes from the Sweetie Bear collection. They finally arrived to me. So today I'm going to let you guys know all of my thoughts on these perfumes, whether I like them or not, the notes that I can smell, and whether I would recommend them or not. And if you would like to purchase anything from Flower Nose, I do have a discount code and referral links below, and I do earn a small commission from it if you choose to shop with my links. So if you do, thank you so much. I really greatly appreciate it. And Flower Nose actually has their 9th anniversary sale coming up this week. So if there has been anything you've had your eye on, now is definitely a really great time to take advantage of the sales and all of the really amazing freebies they are sending out as well. Now I do have to say this is actually my second time filming this video. I just sat down to edit this one for this week, and my external mic evidently came partially unplugged, which means it did not record any of the audio. So this is actually going to be a second take, and I am a little frustrated with that because all the videos I filmed yesterday had the same issue, so I'm gonna have to do reshoots, and I just really did not have the time for that. My energy is a little off in this video. That is definitely the reason why. But that is neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into the perfumes. There are two new perfumes from the Sweetie Bear collection. The first perfume we have is the brown perfume. This one is called Caramel Bear, and we also have the pink perfume, and this one is called Honey Lemon. So let's go ahead and see what we think of these perfumes for the second time. So starting off, we have the chocolate colored perfume. This one, like I said, is called Caramel Bear. And this one is described as a creamy gourmand scent family. So let's go ahead and spray this one. We'll do it on this side, and we're gonna give that just a moment to kind of air out. And I am actually having a little bit of an allergy kind of flare up today, so this is not the best day for me to be doing perfume reviews because it definitely is getting me into some sneezing fits, so bear with me. I did take an antihistamine, and I think you can even still hear all the congestion in my voice, so please excuse that. Alright, so starting off with smelling this perfume. Now this isn't my first reaction to this perfume since I did already film this video, but let's go ahead and give this one a sniff. And I do have to say this one is a really, really good perfume. Let me go ahead and read you guys the notes. So starting off, the top note, there is just a singular note, and it is milk. For the middle notes, we have cream and candy. And then for the base notes, we have vanilla and musk. So I do have to say, for Flower Nose perfumes, with only having about 5 scent notes, that is a little bit more on the, lower side. I feel like a lot more of the Flower Nose perfumes tend to have anywhere from about 8 to 14 notes, give or take. So this one is a little bit on like the lower end as far as the amount of scent notes in it. However, I will say that this fragrance has a really lovely complex smell. And honestly, I really do think that I am picking up on pretty much all of these notes. Like the milk and the cream, I will say, I feel like those two are kind of similar, and I can't necessarily like differentiate the two, but that milky creamy scent is absolutely there. The candy scent, I think it's probably more of like a sugar kind of smell in my opinion. It's not really like a specific candy or anything like that. And then of course it has a lovely base of the vanilla and the musk, which I really think gives it a lovely kind of grounded gourmand fragrance. It's not like so sweet and sugary that it makes you smell like a 12-year-old. Now don't get me wrong, I am a big fan of like a pink sugar perfume, but that is one that when I wear it, I definitely am totally aware that like this has a very adolescent kind of smell to it. However, this perfume to me definitely has that sweet gourmand kind of fragrance to it, but it doesn't necessarily smell like kiddish or anything like that. Like it has a really nice blend to it. Even with only having those 5 notes, it still has a wonderful, like sophisticated and complex kind of scent profile to it, which I really, really enjoy. And if you guys are familiar with all of Flower Nose's fragrances, excluding these 2 perfumes, there was only one other perfume from Flower Nose that had the fragrance note of vanilla, which was the Strawberry Milkshake perfume. And out of like all 17 other fragrances that they had, none of them had a vanilla fragrance to them, which always blew my mind because I feel like vanilla is such a universally liked fragrance note. As far as the vanilla milkshake perfume goes, I liked the scent, but I was very much let down by like the complexity of the fragrance. It just really kind of had a basic smell to it. It didn't smell like the typical like well blended, sophisticated, complex kind of scents I'm used to from Flower Nose. So I was so excited to see that they were doing another gourmand fragrance because I am a gourmand girl through and through as far as perfumes go. Those are my #1 favorite perfumes. So with all of that being said, I was very, very like, I felt redeemed whenever I smelled this perfume. I feel like this one was kind of like making up for the strawberry milkshake perfume, and I definitely think that they have proved themselves that they can indeed make a really delicious gourmand fragrance perfume, and I'm so glad that they did it. I just cannot express that enough that I am so happy with this fragrance, and I really, really like this one a lot. So now moving on to the pink perfume, I do have one little side note I do want to mention, and whenever I opened this one up, unfortunately there was a little minor issue with the packaging of my perfume, and this little face plate here, it's like a little metal face plate, it actually had popped off my perfume, and on the back I could actually see that there was like a little sticky on it that sticks it to the bottle, and that had come off during transit. I have never had a problem from Flower Nose packaging or products before, like coming broken or messed up or anything like that, so that was the first time I've ever had that happen, but I did think it was fair to point that out. So even though I was able to just stick it back on, I was actually surprised to see that like this is like not actually part of the bottle. I guess I just never realized that, and it's kind of like a little sticky applique thing. So just one little thing I wanted to mention. Luckily I was able to fix it and there wasn't an issue or anything like that, but I did want to point that out because I've just never had that happen before with Flower Nose. Alright, so this one is the Honey Lemon fragrance, and this one is described as a floral, fruity, honey fragrance type. So we're gonna go ahead and give this one a smell. We're gonna put this one on the opposite wrist. Hope this doesn't send me into a sneezing fit like I had with the first one, but that is definitely my allergies fault. So we're gonna go ahead and spray this one over here. We're gonna go ahead and give that one just a couple seconds to air out. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and give this one a smell. This one is another really good fragrance, I have to say right off the bat. So for the notes for this fragrance, we have the top notes, which are mandarin, strawberry, berries, pear, and lemon. Middle notes are rose, jasmine, peach, and sandalwood. And the base notes are ambergris, vanilla, musk, and caramel. So one thing I did notice right away is that the fragrance is called Honey Lemon, and it's described as a floral fruity honey scent. However, honey is actually not any of the notes listed in the fragrance, so I did think that was kind of interesting. But as I'm smelling it, it really does kind of give me like a little bit of like a honeyish vibe, so I'm not sure why the honey note wasn't actually in there, so that was a little strange to me. But one thing I will definitely mention as far as the fragrance of this one, I would absolutely give this like a floral fruity approved. Like to me, it definitely has like 50-50 as far as like floral and fruitiness goes, which is kind of surprising because there's actually a lot of fruit notes in here. Like I said, we have mandarin, strawberry, berries, pear, lemon, and peach. I don't think we've ever had a fragrance from Flower Nose before that has had that many fruit scent notes in a single perfume. And then for the floral, we actually only have two, the rose and the jasmine, but I do think that the rose and the jasmine do make up about half of the scent in this perfume. So I would definitely call it a fruity floral, but to me it almost goes just slightly more floral than fruity. I mean, I would expect this to like smell like a fruit punch with like the amount of fruit notes that are in here. And I'm so sorry, someone is leaf blowing. I cannot help that. We are working on a time crunch here and I've already filmed this for the second time, so I am so sorry about that. But as far as the notes that I can really like pick out, for me, I'm getting the mandarin, the strawberry, the lemon, and the peach as far as the fruits go. I'm really not picking up much on the pear. I feel like pears typically kind of give it a little bit more like a crispness, which I'm not quite getting in this one. The berries is a little obscure because I can't quite tell, like, am I smelling the strawberry or is it berries? So it's a little hard to tell for that one. But as far as the florals, the rose and the jasmine really do a lot of heavy lifting. And I have always said I'm not a huge fan of rose scented things for my body. I don't mind it like in a candle, but I don't really like smelling like rose. However, I find that with the jasmine in here, it really kind of mellows out the rose a bit and just kind of like, you know, makes it a little softer. I think sometimes rose can get like a bad rep and can kind of have a little bit of like an old lady-ish smell. To me, I just like jasmine in my florals. And then I'm definitely picking up on the sandalwood, the vanilla, and the musk. I feel like those are the ones that are really kind of grounding the entire fragrance. However, I'm not that familiar with what ambergris smells like, so I unfortunately do not have like a isolated scent memory of what ambergris on its own smells like. I will say, however, I am not picking up any of the caramel scent in this fragrance. It does have a soft sweetness to it, but I feel like it's more of a fruity sweet rather than like a gourmandy sugary sweet, if that makes any sense. I do have to say though, I actually really do like this fragrance. I think it's a really nice, wonderful, like I said, sophisticated and complex. I feel like those are the two best descriptors I can give for Flower Nose perfumes because they just do a really wonderful job with that. But of course, if I had to pick one fragrance between the two perfumes, if you were either like just going for one or are not a collector like me, which one would I go for as like just a regular purchaser of Flower Nose perfumes? I think that for me, I have to give it to the Caramel Bear fragrance. This one is just really the redemption I was looking for when it came to a gourmand fragrance from Flower Nose. With being so kind of let down by the strawberry milkshake perfume, I thought, oh my god, we're never gonna get a vanilla perfume from them ever. They're gonna like never do it and they're just gonna stick to the florals. They always do. But I do have to say I was very pleasantly surprised with this perfume, and it just really speaks to me as a gourmand vanilla lover. This one I feel like you just really kind of can't go wrong with if you know you like vanilla perfumes. This one just really, really speaks to me. However, that is not to take anything away from the Honey Lemon perfume, because this one is also a delicious perfume and absolutely one I can see myself wearing, and one that I would, knowing what I know now, I would have purchased this one again. So if you are familiar with a few other fragrances from Flower Nose, I would say from their last collection, which was Shell's Jewel, they had a perfume called, I think it was Iced Lemon Tea or something of those, lemon iced tea. I always get the words mixed up. Either way, you know the one I'm thinking of. That one also had another like kind of like honey and tea and lemony kind of note to it, which I really enjoyed. I think that if you liked that perfume, I think you would be more inclined to like this one as well. They're definitely not like the same perfume by any means, but I would say they're definitely cousins. They're like in the same family as far as like scents go. This one's kind of like if you liked the herbaceous tea kind of smell from the iced lemon tea, but you wanted a little bit more of a fruity twist on it, I think that you would really enjoy this fragrance. And honestly, I don't really have any other fragrances to really compare this to as far as the Flower Nose perfumes go, but I will say if you do like gourmand fragrances, I feel like this one is absolutely up your alley as well. I'm thinking like a lot of like pink sugars, but with more vanilla and more warmth to it. You know, think of something like that. Sabrina Carpenter's Sweet Tooth, that's what hers is called. Sweet Tooth, you know, those kind of vibes. I'm not saying that these like are dupes of each other by any means. I'm just saying in the same like sugary, sweet, vanilla, gourmand kind of fragrance profiles. I definitely think that a lot of people would really enjoy this fragrance. And one other thing that a lot of people ask me is how do the Flower Nose perfumes perform? I definitely think that there are some fragrances that last longer than others. If I had to give like the worst to the best as far as like performance goes, I have to give the worst performance to the Strawberry Cupid perfume Strawberry Milkshake. That one is like a body spray on me. Like it's there for like 20 minutes and it's gone. And then like one of the best performing ones for me, like I said, on me is like Choir Girl from Little Angel collection. That one was one I could smell like all day. So unfortunately I have not done a like longevity test on these so far, but from what I can tell just from testing them yesterday, these definitely were a bit of a typical performance as far as like the longevity. And for me, most of the Flower Nose perfumes last about 4 to 6 hours on me, where like I can smell them and they are there, but they kind of slowly fade away. And so I will have to try these out a little bit more. I'll probably update you guys in my next like updated rankings videos in a few months. But from my limited testing of these, both of these had really good lasting power on me. So I would expect them to fall within that same kind of like 4 to 6 hours. And then if you wanted to like kind of top it off to really kind of amp it back up, that's about how they last on me. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful to you in some way. I am not like a perfume professional by any means. I am just a girl that loves perfume, and my nose can only know what it knows. And unfortunately, I can't always like articulate what something smells like through a video. It is one of the hardest things, but I just do my best and I let you guys know what I can pick up from them, whether I like them or not. And I do have to say, I definitely thoroughly enjoyed both of these perfumes so far, and I can't wait to get more use out of them. And I will also mention, I did also get the 2 perfume samples of each fragrance that came in my order. I've already like kind of put those away, so here is what those looked like. As always, Flower Nose always sends out 2 of the perfume fragrances that you order in your order. I know it seems a little backwards because you're already purchasing the fragrance. I really wish they would sell their samples on their website so you don't have to blind buy commit to a $50 perfume. So I am going to mention that in every video. Maybe Flower Nose will listen to me and maybe one day they'll add those fragrance samples to their website for sale, because I know a lot of people don't want to waste $50 on a perfume if they don't even know if they're going to like it or not. I know that they already have the samples, so they could totally do it. So that is just another plea to Flower Nose. Please make the samples available prior to purchasing the fragrances. I know a lot of people would really, really appreciate it. And once again, if you'd like to purchase anything from Flower Nose, don't forget my discount code and referral links below, which I do earn a small commission from. They're gonna have so many good sales coming up with the anniversary sale, Black Friday. I mean, there's just a lot of sales coming up. So if there's anything you've had your eye on, don't forget to check out my discount code. And if you guys have any questions about these fragrances, as far as like comparing them to other Flower Nose perfumes, definitely feel free to drop your comments below and I will do my very best to answer any of those questions. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.